Hey guys, I'm here to do a little update video. I know I said I would do one last time I was on here before the weight loss results video that I posted with some pictures. The video before that I talked about how I had gotten a leak after my surgery in Mexico. About a week after that gastric sleeve surgery, I obtained a leak. I was really sick for about 6 weeks. The prognosis at first was not good, but I made it through. Ended up with that, I had a PICC line. I was being fed and IV through the PICC line. PICC line is just an IV. It goes into your arm and goes down into your heart to make it so you don't have to keep getting your IV changed every 3 days, which is what they usually have to do. So I was pretty sick last year, about a year and a half ago, in July of 2021, with the leak and an infection. Took about 6 weeks. I was better. I was able to start eating again. Did pretty good throughout the year. I think the video I posted, I had been maybe 80 pounds I lost. In May of this year, 2022, I had to have my gallbladder out. Felt like I was having a heart attack. It was absolutely horrible. But that was fine. We got through it. We had to stay off work for a week and go back. We were okay. Then, August of this year, I started having some weird pain while I was swallowing. Like, it was hurting to swallow, and I didn't know why. It was something new that happened, and it had been going on for a few days, so I called my doctor, made an appointment to just my general doctor, because never thought anything, like it would have anything to do with anything, so I made an appointment to go see my doctor. That same day I made the appointment, I got home and I had developed a fever. I asked my sister to take me to the ER because I could feel the heat like radiating through my clothes. I was so hot. She took me down to the local hospital. My fever was 102.6 when I got there. They did the CT scan, they did ultrasounds. I told them, I've just been having pain swallowing. I don't understand why a fever. I did have some acid reflux as well, which was unusual because I hadn't had that problem. After they did the scans, you will not believe it, I had another leak. A year and 2 months later, I had another leak. I was devastated. I was very angry. I didn't know how this could happen. The clip that the doctor the previous year had put in place was still in place, so it was a new leak. So this hospital I went to, because never in a million years would I have thought, I have another leak, I better go back to the same hospital that had the specialist. So I went to the local hospital, and they were trying to send me to the hospital with the specialist, but that hospital, UCSD, had no beds. You're not guaranteed a bed unless you come through their ER. If you're coming from another hospital, they don't have to take you, even though they're the only ones who can fix you. This hospital could not do anything for me. So I was very sick at this point. I had the infection in my bloodstream again, another PICC line put into place, more feeding through the PICC line, IVs. They had another abscess, so they had to put a drain in. They put the drain in almost the same spot as last year. 17 days I stayed in that hospital, just waiting to get over to UCSD. And finally they released me. The first hospital, they couldn't get me transferred over, said, well, you're as stable as we can get you, nothing else we can do, we'll discharge you home. I said, okay. So I went home, and the next day I went back to the hospital, but this time I went to UCSD because I was like, I'm not playing around with this anymore. Went to UCSD, and at this time my drain was no longer functioning. After doing a scan, turns out that the drain actually had entered into my stomach, like it made its way through my stomach lining into my stomach. I was in so much pain. I was having a hard time breathing. Turns out, and actually I did know this in the first hospital, my left lung had filled with fluid. And so they drained the fluid there. They got about 200 cc's out, which isn't a whole lot, but it was enough to make me very uncomfortable breathing. The second hospital, things started feeling worse and more fluid. My base of my lung had collapsed. They got 700 cc's out this time from my lung. They had to switch the drain out because the drain the first hospital had put in, like I said, entered into my stomach. It was no longer working. They scheduled me for surgery to have the doctor, the specialist, fixing the new leak. So apparently he wanted to take out the old clip and place in a new one while he was in there. Fine, that's whatever you need to do. He said, I'm not sure why this happened again. He said, I've never, mind you, he did not do the gastric sleeve surgery. He just fixed what happened. He said, I've never had a patient come twice for a leak. He's like, I've never even heard of it happening. I haven't been able to find it, but that doesn't mean it hasn't happened before, but it happened to me. And so he scheduled my surgery for about 4 days later, and now we're like 3 weeks in. They were going to go in with it in an endoscopy, which they go through your mouth, down your throat to put in a new clip and change out the old clip. So they go in, they can see where the new leak is coming from. They take out the old clip, and when they take out the old clip, he had such a hard time taking it out. He had to take it out in little pieces. My throat was horrible after this. He kept having to go in and out, he said. It frayed my stomach completely, and it inflamed it to the point where they could not put a single clip in. They couldn't tell where the leaks were coming from. They could see nothing. So they had to let my stomach rest for a whole month before they could put a new clip in. So for a whole month, I just sat there with the leak because there was nothing they could do. And they had me start taking medicine by mouth because they felt like the natural ability of the stomach to contract will get muscles going and it would help that work better to heal. That's what they told me. So I stayed in that hospital for another, I think I was there overall for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So I was in hospital for 6 weeks this time, and then they scheduled a surgery for a month after the first surgery to fix the leaks. They did show me a scan of my stomach, and they showed me what was happening when I had my surgery in Mexico, when they stapled my stomach. And I'll put a picture in at the end of this video, but the stomach was very, the staple pattern was crazy. Like there was a little bit of a line, and then there was just staples everywhere. And he said that kind of told him that it was difficult for them to close me, and that's why I was having these issues. And he said if it happens a third time, which he said I would love to guarantee that it won't, but because you're already here a second time, we can't guarantee a third time. They're just going to have to remove my whole stomach, which I guess is an R&Y, where they link your esophagus to your intestines, which, excuse me, I do not want that to happen. So pray for me that it doesn't happen again. Anyways, he was able to fix it again after I healed for a month. He was able to put in a new clip. He said everything went really beautifully. I had to go to the ER back and forth a few times after that because the drain situation was not good. Excruciating pain with the drain. I had to have that in for 8 weeks. I couldn't eat for 10 weeks this time. So I got the PICC line put in August 4th or 5th, and it just came out at the beginning of November, the first Saturday of November. I had to go to the ER to get it out because my home health wouldn't come do it because I was back to work, and then the clinic I was using to get my PICC line dressing changed wouldn't do it because they said they don't do that. So I had to go to the ER to get that done. But today, it's November 29th. I feel much better today. I'm able to eat again. So I'm very glad for that. I got down another 10 pounds. I am at a stall right now, which kind of sucks because it was good to start losing weight again. I'd been on a stall for a long time. So yeah, I'm just healing. I still have some issues with my lung. That's not completely healed. I am going back to the gym beginning of December because I couldn't work out this whole time. But I'm able to go back now. I've been cleared. So hopefully this will help my lung finally heal because I hate being short of breath. Like I really don't like it. And I know it's going to be a struggle at first, but I've got to do that hard work to get it healed. So anyways, I still don't regret the surgery because granted, I've been very seriously ill for 2 years in a row now. But all the other benefits of the surgery have been life-changing for me. I don't have hip and knee pain. I don't just sit around and have shortness of breath. I actually have to walk up a hill to get short of breath now, and that's only because I was sick and because my lung filled up with fluid because of the drain, they said, which is weird. But anyways, yeah, that's my update for now. Thanks for watching.